Hi, Ty Holloway with Holloway Bros Fishing. Today we're tying a Green Drake Cripple. It's kind of based on the Last Chance Cripple, which was designed in Last Chance, Idaho on the Henry's Fork for real selective trout in the low gradient section of the Henry's Fork there around Last Chance. We added deer hair to this in place of CDC to kind of accommodate our more turbulent waters here, so a higher floating, higher visibility fly for the Mackenzie primarily. We fish this fly a lot during the Green Drake hatch in some of the pools on the Mackenzie where the fish might be more selective and not eating like a tilt wing or a parachute Adams. So for those larger, more selective fish, we put on this cripple. It's a great cripple pattern. It can be applied to any mayfly pattern, and hope you enjoy the video. Alright, tying a Green Drake Cripple today, kind of a variation of the Last Chance Cripple. We've got it on a TMC 100 here in an 8. We're going to use deer hair for the wing instead of CDC. This here is teal flank. We want that tail about the same length as the shank of the hook, same length as the body. Just 3 strands there is all we need. Tie that in right on top. Going to take some olive uni stretch here. Tie that in right on top as well. I'm going to take an olive, dark olive, this is dark olive goose biot. Tie this in by the tip. We're going to cut a fair amount of the tip off here, maybe ½ an inch, get it kind of where it's a little fatter taper. I'm going to tie this in on the side. We're going to bring our thread forward. All the way to where we anticipate ending the body. Right about there. We can clip our tag into the teal flank off here. Now I've got a long tag end uni stretch here. I'm going to wrap this back. This is going to be kind of just an underbody, you could say. We want, when we wrap this biot forward, especially on the size 8 hook, the biots might not be long enough to complete the body, so we want kind of something under there that's the same color as the biot, just when those wraps are separate a little bit. We want this uni stretch showing through. We're going to come back and we can kind of create our taper here. We get great Green Drake hatches here on the Mackenzie. They can be pretty good size, 8s, real thick bodied. So a nice fat taper here on these emergers we like. And we can create that with this uni stretch. Part of why I like doing the underbody here with this uni stretch. Right there is going to be good. Capture that, tie that off, clip the tag. We can clip our the tag of our little shuck here too. Make that pretty short, just like that. I'm going to take our biot, palmering this forward, trapping it. You can use hackle pliers here, it might be easier, but should be able to do it just with our fingers. Trapping it after each wrap. Barely got it there, but nice and secured. You can wet that biot too before using it. It makes it a little softer, or have it soak in water. Makes it a little softer, easier to work with. But that's good there. Peacock iced up here. Just a little more. Here on the Mackenzie, oftentimes the trout we're fishing to aren't real picky in terms of the adult green drake they're eating, just because they don't get fished to a whole lot, and when the hatch does happen, they just kind of have a disregard for their well-being, it seems. But occasionally in some of the pools they do get a little picky, and rather than like a tilt wing or a parachute style drake, we need to switch to these emerger or cripple style flies, and this is my favorite cripple green drake that we fish here. So I've got some brown all-purpose deer hair that I just stacked in here. We're going to remove that from our stacker. Got a little more than I need here. I'm going to pull some of that out. Really just like maybe half of a pencil in diameter of hair. Like a fair amount here. We want this. This is kind of the buoyant part of the fly here. This is kind of keeping the head of this thing riding up, and the rear of the fly in the water, just like an actual cripple. I'm going to tie that in and advance our thread right to the eye. We're going to tie this hair in forward about half the length of the hook shank there. One kind of loose wrap, then another pretty tight one, just like you were seating maybe an elk hair caddis wing. So we got that tied in. Now I'm going to try to kind of get my hair looking how I want it. Now I'm going to go just around the hair here, trying to get all of them, just like you were doing a parachute. So a couple wraps of just capturing the hair. Just like that. Now we're going to advance our thread back to our eye stub there. I'm trying to capture all the tag ends here. We're going to trim this pretty short, just so it's kind of barely extending past the dub portion of the body there, just like that. Now we're going to tie in our hackle. We got a dyed, an olive dyed grizzly hackle here. Going to tie in the stem on the side facing me. A couple of them not wanting to cooperate here. Pieces of hair. There we go. Now we're going to wrap this forward without trapping any hairs. We want this pretty densely wrapped in here. This is adding quite a bit of flotation as well. Right about there, secure that. Trying to pull everything back here to finish the fly. Whip finish and clip the tag end of our hackle there. Pull your wing forward, stand your hackle up. Clip your thread. And clip any unruly ones that you don't want in there. But there you have it. That's our